was whether or not you would seek provincial consent. And I'm asking, not sort of in the abstract, you could be Prime Minister in a month and a half. Would you, submit to the idea that you need provincial consent before you block the resources of Alberta or Quebec, for example?
What I'm saying, Vashi, is I am confident, given my track record, given my work with premiers of provinces and territories, that I will be able to build a united Canadian coalition to use all the tools in our toolbox and to fight for Canada. I'm confident I can do that.
But what if you can't? I mean, there's been no indication that all of a sudden Danielle Smith will get on board with everything being on the table. Are you willing to go against the will of provinces?
I know that Albertans love Canada, and Vashi, I have utter confidence that as Prime Minister, I would be able to build a national coalition across the country to do what we need to do, to use all the tools in our toolbox, if that's what we have to do, to fight back, to fight for Canada. I know I can do that.
And I would not disagree with the assessment that Albertans love Canada, but their view of what that means might differ from yours. And in particular, I think, and I'm sure the sentiment has been expressed to you as it has to me, there is a feeling among Albertans as to, why should they shoulder the burden of whatever is to come, or the majority of the burden of whatever is to come, when they do not feel like your government has been there for them, closing the door, for example, on pipelines other than TMX, closing the door on exporting more LNG. Like they do not feel it. I mean, you were finance minister for years. You were part of a government that certainly was not talking the way it is now about getting our resources to other markets. Albertans feel like you stood in the way of that happening.
As Finance Minister, Vashi, one of the things I am proud of, which I spoke about in budget speeches, was getting the Trans Mountain Pipeline built. That was something I was very personally involved in. That is a project that was good for Alberta, that is good for Canada. And today, when we need access to markets other than the United States for our resources, that project is more important than ever. We should all be proud that we got that pipeline built. Albertans know how hard I worked and how important that project is to me. And I do believe that this is a moment when we as a country have to recognize how great it is that we are richly endowed with natural resources. That is such a good thing. We need those resources today more than ever. We do have to redouble our efforts to get those resources to markets, to diverse markets. Albertans know that that is something I stand for, and that will definitely be part of my conversation with Alberta as Prime Minister.
Okay, I'm going to leave our conversation there. I'm out of time. I appreciate your time today. Thanks a lot, Ms. Freeland.
Thank you very much, Vashi, and I just want to